Let's talk something different in today's video. Let's talk about the newly released MIDI keyboard controller from the Synido, which is called the Synido TempoKey K25. Heads up for you, I'm not a pro on this kind of gadget, but don't worry, I should be able to walk you through a majority of its functions. Without further ado, let's get started. And now, let me show you what the package comes with when you get this Synido TempoKey K25. First, of course, it does comes with the controller, so this is the one, and it comes with a carrying case or a bag, so that looks like that. And of course, it comes with this shoulder strap. Looks pretty durable. There you go. And it comes with this manual and this cleaning cloth. The size is pretty decent. There you go. And also it comes with this cable, so this is just USB-C to A for power, as well as to connect to your laptop or desktop or PC. And it comes with this cable, so this is the cable you will need if you will be connecting this controller to, let's say, a phone, which does not have enough power to supply to this controller. So that's when you will need this cable. Also, it comes with this cord here, so 1/8-inch TS to 5-pin female DIN converter. And this is just a certificate of conformity. And lastly, it comes with this one here. So this is a USB-A to C OTG adapter. And now let's talk about the physical appearance of this MIDI keyboard controller. First of all, it does have 25 sensitive keys to play your instrument. And as you can see over here, you have a knob bank as well as pad bank. So for the pad bank, you will have pad bank A and B. So that means you can switch between this 8 pads to another set. So for your pad bank B, so you'll have a total of 16 there. For the knobs, same thing. You will have knob bank A and knob bank B. So you will have a total of 16 rotary mappable knobs on here. So which means if you're going to connect this one to your DAW, you should be able to control at least a total of 16 from your DAW using this rotary knobs over here. Same thing with the pads over here. You can also map this to your DAW if you would like. And over here, this is just your main. This is your main control. You can also use this one to set your parameters. And it does have the pitch feature here, as well as your modulation. And on here you have a transpose, minus and plus, so pretty self-explanatory. Same with the octave, plus and minus, increase and lower it. And this is your screen over here. So it tells you also the parameters you set, whatever you set on here. This is just a mini screen over here that you can see later. And you have your transport commands. So same thing, you can also map this one to the DAW you are using. And you have this ARP or Arpeggiator. I'm actually, as I said, I'm not a pro on this one, but I'm super excited using this ARP. I felt like I'm a pro when I use that one. I'm going to show it to you in a bit. And you have your fixed velocity on here. You can turn this off if you would like. So fixed velocity, it will disable how much pressure or how much you touch this pads on here. And you have your tempo, top tempo. You can control that on here if you would like. And you have your note repeat. So note repeat only triggers the pads on here, not the keys on here. And on the sides, so pretty much nothing on the sides. And on here and at the back, let me just show you quickly. It does have this rubber, so it won't slip. And this port over here, that's where you're going to be connecting this cable here. That is if you will be connecting this one, let's say, to a phone that does not have enough power to power this keyboard. So that's when you will use that. And sustain, if you will have maybe a sustain pedal, you can connect, then you can connect it through here. And USB-C, type C, so this is where you will be connecting this one here to connect to your laptop or maybe a PC or a desktop. And just so you know, if you will be connecting this one to a laptop or a PC or a desktop, you don't need to use this cable over here, because a desktop or a laptop should have enough power to supply to this keyboard. And your MIDI out, so that you can use this one here. So TS 1/8-inch to 5-pin DIN female converter. And now that this MIDI controller is now connected to this laptop, and as you notice, I already opened the DAW, and by the way, the DAW that I will be using today is the Ableton Live. So from here, what I'll do is I'm going to go to options just to ensure that this keyboard or MIDI controller is connected to this DAW, to Ableton Live. So I'll go to options and then preferences. And from audio, as you notice, no input as my audio input because I will not be using an audio interface. And to my audio output, I'm only using this earphone to monitor the audio, so I'm setting it to selecting headphone. And MIDI tempo, as you notice over here, it did read this mini controller, keyboard controller. So you should be able to see it at the bottom here, Synido in and out, so just make sure that you can see them both over there. And then track and remote, make sure those two are both a check mark. Okay, so from here, let's get out from here. Normally you'll have 4 tracks on here, so I'm just going to remove or delete the audio because we'll not be using them. So I'm just going to leave those 2 tracks, MIDI tracks. And from here, if you press anything here, you will not be able to hear any sounds or notes. That is because we have to do something. So from here, we can use sounds, drums, or instruments. So it's all up to you. Maybe I'm going to use drums, and I'm going to select one from here. I'll set maybe. There's quite a few options here, as you can see. So from here, I'm just going to set this one. You can either drag and drop this one to either of these MIDI tracks, or you can just simply double tap. So double tap, it should be added. So now it's over here, and now I can hear it. Okay, so let's do that. And now from here, so as I showed you earlier, you will have this 8 pads on here, and you have this pad bank. So right now, it's currently, it shows you here pad bank A. So if I'm going to tap this one, there you go. So it's showing those 8 pads at the bottom. And if I'm going to change this to pad bank B, so it says pad bank B over here. So I'll tap it again, so it gives us a different sounds. And you will notice also on this Ableton Live, so the pad bank B are the 8 pads on top of the 8 pads here at the bottom. So again, pad bank A, normally the 8 pads here at the bottom, and then the pad bank B are the 8 pads here on top. You can actually customize them as you like. Okay, so maybe I'm going to go back to pad bank A. There you go. Okay, and now maybe let's add another track, MIDI tracks. Maybe let's go to maybe sounds, and then let's add synth keys. Maybe let's select this one. So again, you can just drag and drop. So drop it over here, track number 1, and again, make sure it's ARM. So that one has to be highlighted, because if this is not highlighted, you won't hear anything. So make sure it's highlighted in red, or they call it armed. Okay, so now we should be able to hear something. There you go. Okay, and from here, I'm going to show you the pitch of features on here. So if you tap, of course, it adds that effects. And modulation, same thing. There you go. You can even use both if you want. Okay, so maybe you can use them as you like. Okay, so now you have a transpose or octave, so pretty much it changes the notes. So let's say here. And then if I'm going to transpose, maybe negative or to lower it. Okay, and then transpose plus, very self-explanatory. There you go. Okay, I'm going to put it back to 0. Same thing with the octave. It changes the notes higher or lower. So octave minus. Okay, and then octave plus, maybe 4. There you go. So very self-explanatory. I'm going to set it back to 0. From here, I'm going to show you how to use this knobs on here. So what it is, as I mentioned earlier, you can control some of the functions from your DAW using this knobs on here, and we can do that by mapping this knobs. And to do that, let's go to here. So let's tap the MIDI like that, and to map this one here, you will notice there are some of the features there are highlighted in blue, so that means those are the ones that we can map. Or in other words, those are the ones that we can control using these pads or these knobs. Okay, so let's say I want to map or control remotely this filter 1 cutoff. So what you do is simply tap that and then move this knob over here, and there you go. So it's now, it has that number, so that means we can control this one now remotely, as well as this one. So I'm going to move this, and then let's say drive. It doesn't have to be in order. You can also select some from here if you would like with these knobs. So okay, maybe the next one to drive. Did I use this? Okay, yeah, I did. So for the reverb, I'll use this one here. And then the volume, I'll use this one here. And again, you can use other functions here with the other 2 knobs on here if you would like. And right now, we are only using knob bank A. So it shows over here. So that's knob bank A. So in other words, if I'm going to get out from here, I should be able to control those ones with this knobs without touching the mouse or this pad over here. So if I'm going to get out from there, let's say I'm going to press this one, and I want the volume to be lower, so I do not have to touch this this pad or even the mouse if I have a mouse. Instead, I'm just going to use this knob over here. I want it to lower the volume. There you go. Or increase that. As well as the drive, I set this one as my drive, so the one over there. So I want it up or lower it, including this one here. Or even the reverb, I believe I set this one as my reverb. So I want to add reverb or lower the reverb. There you go. So anyway, that is pretty much how you map the rotary knobs. And as I showed you, I'm only using knob bank A. Now, if I'm going to use knob bank B, even if I move this one, it's not going to do anything because I did not map this one yet under bank B, knob bank B. So for that, maybe let's go to the drums. Maybe let's use that on here instead. Okay, so let's say I wanted to map the gain and the high gain and the other one. So same thing, go to MIDI, and then I want to map the high gain to be this one here. Okay, so as you notice, it's being added also over there. And then let's say the gain, I wanted to use this. And let's say this one. So anyway, it's all up to you, whatever you want to use this knob. You can also use this one even on this other one over here or even here. So it's really up to you. And now, if I'm going to get out from here, so this means if I am going to, let me arm this one first so we can hear. So okay, there you go. Okay, so if I'm going to top this one here, okay, so as you recall, I did set this one as my vintage, and then glue, I set that, and then the gain, I set this. Okay, let me top this one. If I wanted to increase my gain, I'm just gonna move this one. So I don't have to physically touch that one over there. Instead, I'm just gonna move this knob because I did map this one to control that gain there remotely, as well as this high gain. There you go. So anyway, that is pretty much how you map this one here. And as I said, you have knob bank A, so you have a total of 16 rotary knob that you can map, or you can control features from your DAW using these knobs over here. Same thing with this transport command. Let's say we are going to map our record, play and stop. So same thing, let's go here to MIDI, and then tap the record, and then you have to tap this one here as well. And as you notice, it's being added here. So same, let's map also the stop. So the stop over here, now it's being added. And then the play, so play. There you go, so it's now mapped. So we don't have to physically tap those functions there. Instead, we can use this one here. Okay, so maybe let's get out from there and let me give you a quick sample. So maybe let's go back to here. Okay, so from here, if I'm going to play something and I wanted to record that, so I don't have to tap this one here, I'm just going to tap this one here instead. Okay, tap that, and then record. Okay, and then stop. And then if you want to play it, then press play. Okay, and if you want to stop it, then stop. There you go. So that is pretty much how you map this transport commands on here. And the note repeat, as I mentioned earlier, it triggers the pads over here. So let's say I'm going to tap this one right now. Okay, so as you notice, the sound is different because this is the sound and under this one here. Okay, if I have to select this one here, for the drums, so it has a better sounds. Okay, there you go. And if I'm going to turn on the repeat or enable the repeat, so if I'm going to press and hold it, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to repeat that sounds. So if I'm going to turn on the note repeat, there you go. And from here, you can also change the tempo from here. So there you go. If I'm going to tap tempo, and then it will actually show you also, it should show you also on here. There you go. So of course, the lower the number, the slower it is. So right now, 56. Okay, and if you wanted more faster, of course, you just have to tap this one here and select, of course, the higher number if you want it faster. So let's say 254. There you go. So now it's more faster. Now for the fixed velocity, so if you turn this on, a pretty self-explanatory, velocity would be fixed if you turn this on. So that means even if you tap this one soft, the output should be the same. Or even if you tap it harder, the output should be the same. So anyway, that is pretty much how to use that if you want to turn on this fixed velocity. And now let me show you the ARP or Arpeggiator. This is now the feature that I'm so excited about as a beginner with this kind of gadget. Let me show you first how are you going to change the beat or the timing of your notes or whatever you're playing. Okay, let's turn on the ARP. And now that the ARP is turned on, now if I am going to, let's say if I'm going to change the timing to be more faster. So right now it's, as you can see, okay, let me just turn it on. There you go. So as you notice from this screen right now, latch is off and the timing is 1/4 and swing is 59 and set to INCL and then octave 1. So from here, if I'm going to do this, and if I want it more faster, so simply press anywhere and then ARP, and then I'm gonna maybe tap 1/16. And now if I'm going to play it again, it's going to be more faster. There you go. And of course, if I'm going to select the 1/32, and then so press again anywhere, and then ARP, and then that, and now it's going to be very much faster. Okay, now to go back to maybe a slower timing. So again, press anywhere and ARP, and then 1/4, and now if you play it again, there you go. So same thing with the functions over here. So again, tap anywhere and then ARP and then select up. If you turn on or enable the up function on here, what it does is the notes you're playing, it plays from lowest to highest. Okay, let's play this one. And the down is just the opposite. Notes you're playing, it starts from highest to lowest. So let's turn it on. ARP and then down. So now if you're going to play it, okay, there you go. And now for the EXCL, EXCL is if you're going to play a note, it's ascending and descending, so lowest to highest, highest to lowest, and then it will play the lowest and the highest just once. Okay, let's turn it on, ARP and then EXCL. Now if we're going to play that notes again, okay, and INCL is pretty much the same as EXCL, it's just that it will play the lowest and the highest twice. Okay, to turn it on, so ARP and then that. So if we're going to play it again, there you go. Okay, and over here, Octave, you have 4 octave here. So as you notice, it's currently set to octave number 1 if you want to change that. So right now, so let's say over here, or let's say over here, if I'm going to change that to octave number 4, so same thing, ARP and the number 4, so it changes the tone. So same thing if I'm going to maybe select octave number 2, and then ARP, octave number 2, and then it changes here as you can see. So it changes the tone. Now if you want to set your swing to maybe something else, let's say 61, as you notice it's currently set to 59. And for that, so same process, press anywhere here, ARP, and then 61. And now it will change to 61. And now if you want to change it to 64, so same process, press anywhere, ARP, and then 64, and now it changes to 64. Okay, there you go. And now the very most exciting for me as a beginner is the Latch features on here. It's just that if I turn this on, it will keep playing, and then I can press something else as if I'm a pro on this one. Okay, let me show you how to turn it on. So let's say I'm pressing this one right now. So to turn on the Latch, ARP, and then Latch. So now it says turned on. So if I'm going to press a key or anywhere here, it will repeat that note. Okay, and then I can press something else. Okay, there you go. There you go. So now it's continue playing by itself, and then I can press something else. And then back to here if I want, and then add this one. And then if I'm going to, okay, let me turn it off first. And then ARP, and then Latch. So now it's off. And if, let's say, I'm going to arm the drums also, so that I can play the drums as well as the keys on here, I'm going to turn on the Latch. Okay, I'll do the same thing. There you go. So as if I am playing already. And now I can add the pads on here. There you go. And then you can play also over here if you would like. Again, you can press over here if you would like. Okay, so again to turn it off, so ARP, and then Latch. There you go. And now it's off. I think for me it's kind of fun, even if I do not know how to play a keyboard. It made me feel happy already that I can hear something, and it made me feel like I'm a pro using this ARP feature on here, and turning on, of course, the Latch over here. And that is all I can share for today. I hope this video gives you now an idea as to the functions of this kind of MIDI keyboard controller, which is the Synido TempoKey K25. And by the way, if you will be interested in getting this kind of MIDI keyboard controller, I will be adding a link under the description below. And thanks to Synido for sending me this controller so I can do my review as well as some testing. Thanks again, guys, for watching. If you like this type of video, please give it a like. And if you want more of this type of videos, consider subscribing if you haven't done yet, and hit the notification bell so you're always updated for all the upcoming videos I will be posting. I'm hoping to see you again on my next video.